My wedding was the worst day of my life, and it had nothing to do with the person I was marrying. I nearly died on my wedding day, and it was not in this year's bingo cards. I am glad that I am alive, but still shaken due to how everything went down. What was supposed to be the happiest day of my life turned out to be the scariest. My poor husband would have been a widower on the very day that we got married, all because of someone messing up and having sunflowers at my wedding. When I suddenly got the urge to sneeze while walking down the aisle, I tried to ignore it. However, as I carried on walking, I let out a sneeze, causing some of the guests to giggle. I carried on walking, but with each step I took toward my future husband, I felt closer to death. My sneezing got worse and my throat clogged up. I was not even standing in front of him for a second before I doubled over wheezing. I managed to call out for help before my throat completely closed. No one except my aunt knew what was going on, and she started screaming for someone to get my EpiPen. Here's the thing though, I had left it at my hotel. I could not believe I was so stupid to do such a thing, and now I was about to die. My dear Roy picked me up and carried me out of the wedding venue and drove way beyond the speed limit to get me to the hospital. When we got there, I was assisted, and we later found out that my sunflower allergy had been triggered. I had inhaled the pollen as soon as I entered the hall, triggering my reaction, and leading to the wedding being canceled. I was devastated and also pissed off, because who had given the go-ahead for sunflowers to present? I had specified multiple times that no sunflowers or anything containing seeds would be at my wedding. How the hell had the planner and decorators misread that? I was planning to sue them for all they were worth due to how angry I was. However, I was way too weak and had to sleep most of the day. Luckily, my aunt and Roy were with me at all times. I was very sad that my dream wedding had not happened, and now we could not even go on our honeymoon. Luckily, when I woke up the next day, I was feeling much better. I was then able to get hold of the planner and confront her for what happened. She swore that she had not authorized any sunflowers to be there. In fact, she had double-checked the night before the wedding. Surprisingly, she had found some woven into the flowers in my wedding venue. When she contacted the florist, she claimed to have never sent out anything with sunflowers. In fact, she even had an invoice to prove that she did not. I told the planner to question all of her staff. Maybe someone had gotten a burst of inspiration at the last minute and added those flowers. My good mood was ruined even further when my mother-in-law walked into the room. I could not stand that woman and would have been glad if she had not showed up at all. She stayed for a couple of minutes, and I cannot tell you what she was talking about. Every time I am around her, I zone out because she always says stuff that pisses me off. Now she was telling me that maybe it was a sign that me and her son were not ready to get married. She said it was crazy for us to get married after only knowing each other for a year. I had to remind her once again that we had been online friends for over 10 years before we met in person. There was no doubt that we loved each other. I get that she wanted him to marry the ex whom he dated before he met me, but they were not compatible. I informed her that she had no idea why that relationship even ended, and that if she knew it would change her perspective of things. She nearly destroyed him. His mom is lucky that I was there for Roy. I do not want to tell her what happened to him because he asked me not to. Either way, I ended up letting her know that I needed to sleep and she needed to leave. Once she left, I got a video from my wedding planner. It seemed that she took the investigation very seriously and had gone through the footage of the wedding day. I could not believe what I was seeing. It was my mother-in-law hiding some sunflowers in my flower arrangements. No one else was at the venue. It had just officially opened. This explains why my mother-in-law had sounded so out of breath that morning when I called her to confirm something. She had been busy sabotaging my wedding so that I could not get married to her son. I was definitely not crazy when I told Roy that she was trying to stop our wedding. Just a week before, I had found out my dress did not fit, because apparently I called asking for last-minute alterations. I ended up fighting with the dressmaker and canceling the whole order. I could not wear my dream wedding dress, which nearly made me postpone the wedding. Luckily, my aunt gave me my mom's wedding dress, which was still in very good condition, and I wore it to the wedding. I am starting to think my mother-in-law called and had those alterations done. I don't know. Small things have been happening that made it hard to have the wedding. My aunt, who is superstitious, even told me that maybe it is all a bad omen and I should not marry Roy. I don't believe in omens. I think people give them power. But now I have just found out my mother-in-law tried to kill me while I must stop the wedding or both. And I am not going to let her get away with it. You best believe I called the cops and pressed charges on her for what she did to me. The cops deemed the footage sufficient evidence. I was also able to dig up old chats where I told her about my allergy because she had invited me to dinner. They informed me that they would make an arrest by the end of the day, and they did. Note that I did not tell Roy that I got his mom arrested. They are pretty close, and I do not know how he will feel about this. The Roy I know adores his mom and is very protective of her. However, I also know that Roy would not stand for injustice. Some of my friends have said he is a mama's boy in passing, but I hope that is not the case. If he takes her side, then I fear there will be no more marriage. I will not accept him protecting the woman who put me in danger. I am stuck in this hospital bed with my thoughts, unable to get hold of him. I have texted him, but he has not responded. I am starting to think that he is with his mother right now, and she is trying to feed him lies. I guess I have no choice but to wait it out. I did the right thing by sending her to jail. But maybe I should have told Roy before doing so. I was just so angry that I acted before thinking. Now I am backtracking and considering that he might have wanted to know before everyone else did. There is nothing much I can do now, nor can I go back on my decision. I just have to keep on calling him till he picks up. I am so scared because I love him a lot and do not want to lose him because of this. I know he loves his mom a lot since they have only ever had each other. His father passed away when he was younger, and all his siblings live out of the country. His grandparents are out of the state, so he is the only one with his mom. The fact that I managed to get him to move out of her house already caused some problems between us. Imagine now what if she lies and says she forgot and thought I loved sunflowers. I am worrying myself sick right now, and I cannot stop overthinking. What do you think I should do if he takes her side? Comments. First comment by Jackson Miller. Oh my God, your mother-in-law is evil. Your allergy could have been fatal. I am pretty sure she did it on purpose to try and stop your wedding. She must have hoped that Roy would return to his ex-girlfriend. But from what you have been saying, it seems that Roy does not want to get back with her, right? It also seems that she did something horrible which your mother-in-law does not know about. You have to play this smart. You cannot let Roy's mom win. Gather all the evidence against her and make sure she gets prosecuted. As for your husband, if he cannot take your side, then you do not need someone like that. This is not some small argument. She tried to unalive you, thus she needs to be in jail. Do not feel guilty. She landed herself in this mess and now it is time for her to pay. I hope she gets the maximum possible sentence. Second comment by Liam Brown. Wow. I cannot believe your mother-in-law went so far as to stop your wedding. You were right to get her arrested, but you missed a crucial step. You should have told Roy before getting her arrested. If she calls him first and he goes to see her, she will tell him a very twisted version of the story. There is no guarantee that the video evidence will be sufficient to prove your case. As you said, she can deny everything and make up an excuse for why she was there. This will not work out very well for you, and you can lose him. Then maybe his ex will swoop in and reconcile with him. You need to be smart about this and tell him before she does. Find a way to get him to believe only you. Otherwise, you will lose him. I know you are certain that you do not need him and would be fine, but I can tell you love him a lot. It would hurt to lose him over something stupid like this. Wupidbait won 3 days later. Finally, I'm able to breathe and tell you what ended up happening. My days have been a whirlwind because of the case. First, let me tell you that you can rest assured that my husband is on my side. He came to the hospital a couple of minutes after I tried to call him. He told me that his phone's battery had died. When he came to the hospital, he informed me that he had a surprise for me. But before he could tell me what the surprise was, I blurted everything out. I was so scared and my heart was beating so fast. Digesting the news took him a while, and I actually got concerned because he stood there speechless for a long time. And then he stormed out of my room. I called after him, but to no avail. A couple of minutes later, my aunt came into my room and told me she was there to get me ready. I asked what she was talking about, and she said it was for my wedding. Roy had actually gotten special permission for us to get married in the hospital's church. Aunt said that since I was getting discharged soon, we could get married and make our honeymoon in no time. I was excited about the idea, but also concerned because the groom was missing. She told me not to worry about it and have faith. I tried to explain what was going on to her, but she would not hear me out. So, I ended up in my wedding dress once again and being escorted to the church. To my surprise, Roy was waiting for me at the end of the aisle. I actually got very teary. I could not believe I was finally getting married to the love of my life. I fell in love with him in the first year that we became friends. Unfortunately, we lived in different countries, and I was concerned about him being a year younger than me. For years, we stayed friends while dating other people. Then Roy's relationship got very intense, and it ended 2 years ago. Through being there for him, we rekindled our spark, and I moved here. We knew within a few weeks that we wanted to get married, so we got engaged. Roy's mom was skeptical because I was a year older and a foreigner, and we had not met in person before. She has never liked me ever since. That is why it felt like getting married was a dream. It was not a dream. We got married without an issue. After the wedding, he told me the reason he stormed out of my room so abruptly. He had gone to get his phone charged and to call his mom's lawyer. She was indeed arrested for what she did to me, and there was damning evidence. He went to see her after the wedding and came back later to inform me that she was very guilty and denying it. I later got a call from her, asking to explain herself, because she did not intend to hurt me. Of course, I did not want to hear any of her nonsense, so I hung up the phone. I then got in contact with my lawyer and informed her that after the honeymoon, we were heading to court. I am getting discharged tomorrow and I am cleared to travel. I cannot wait for our honeymoon to start. I am not even going to think about that crazy woman when I am on my honeymoon. I will only think about it when I get back to make sure that she gets put behind bars and they throw away the key. The best part is that my husband is by my side and is going to make sure she does not get away with it. I also made sure to let her know that we got married, and her reaction was entertaining. I have seen better acting than that. She pretended to be happy for us, but I could tell she was pissed. She is about to be more pissed when I send her a postcard in prison. That is if she does not make bail. Wait 2 a month later, I feel cold right now. I cannot believe that things could turn on me like that. Have I not given enough? Why does my happiness never last? I am losing my mind right now trying to figure out where I went wrong. How could such a thing happen when I was winning? Roy and I went on our honeymoon, enjoyed ourselves, and came back to town. Once we had moved into our house, we were able to focus on the trial. The court dates were very spread out, but my mother-in-law had bail. The only condition was that she was unable to leave town and was not allowed to be near me. We were winning in the courtroom and in life until one day it all fell apart. I came home one evening to find my husband asleep in his ex's arms. He had been acting sneaky, but I thought he was planning a surprise for me, not sleeping with his ex, especially after what she did to him. I guess I can tell you what she did to him now that I have left him. My husband's ex-girlfriend used to be emotionally and physically abusive, and that is why he left her. For years, he confided in me about how controlling she was and how she made his life difficult. I supported him, and eventually he got the courage to leave. He not only got the courage to leave, but I helped him heal and love again. We grew so much closer during that period, and he confessed his romantic feelings for me. I had always felt something for him but suppressed it due to the distance. But I knew I was now in my 20s, and soon I would be 30. I knew the person I loved and wanted to start a family with him. We were already talking about having kids, but I guess that is not going to happen since he cheated on me. I had the urge to wake both of them up and go batshit crazy on them, but I did not. They did not deserve to see my tears or my anger. Instead, I packed all of my essentials, got in my car, and drove away. I told my manager what happened and said I could not return to town, even if it meant losing my job. She allowed me to work from home and serve out the rest of my notice. I think I need some time to myself so I can figure all of this out. It has been 2 days since I caught him cheating. I have switched off my phone and have not checked my social media. I do not want explanations. I do not want lies. All I wanted was to leave and never see that man again. He knows how I feel about cheating and how it has happened to me in the past. Despite all that, he has hurt me in the worst way possible. Worst of all, in our house, he could not have been any more disrespectful if he tried. I feel like my soul has departed my body right now. Nothing has any meaning anymore, and all I can see when I close my eyes is the two of them. How stupid of me to think that I could get the happy ever after. It did not matter how much I loved him, because he would always love her so much more, even though she hurt him and did not love him as much as I did. Maybe all it took was her batting her eyelids, and then he took her back. I wonder how long it has been going on, but I cannot bring myself to speak to him. I just want to close that chapter of my life and act like nothing ever happened. I am so embarrassed right now after telling everyone about him and introducing him to my aunt. Luckily, I do not have any other family besides my aunt. I am not sure what to do next, but I know that I am not going back there. I do not even care about getting his mother prosecuted anymore. She can get away with what she did. There's no point because there is no more marriage to fight for. Oh, but why did he do that to me? Was I not enough? Just a rebound? Maybe his mother was right. I cannot let this derail me. I am going to feel my feelings and move on with my life. It will be like he never existed very soon. Update 3 months later. It has been 3 months since I caught my husband in bed with another woman. These have been some very transformative months. Maybe that was the best thing to happen to me, which might seem strange, but you will understand soon. Once I stopped finishing tubs of ice by myself and blocking all contact with my ex, I focused on healing. Long story short, I have achieved a lot in these 3 months, and I am very happy. I got transferred to a sister company. My health is so much better, and the pain has gotten better. I have almost forgotten all that happened and have even gone back on social media. In addition, I finally contacted my ex and issued him with divorce papers. That was my biggest mistake, but also my biggest redemption because of his reaction. I did not get a response for weeks until one morning I found him waiting for me in the lobby at my workplace. It was like I had seen a ghost. I might as well have seen one because he had gotten so thin. This could not be the same man that I left behind. I wanted to walk away, but as soon as I heard his voice, I was stuck. It was like the very first time we saw each other in person again. The first thing out of his mouth was that he did not cheat on me. It was a trick. He then got down on his knees and begged me to hear him out. He could not sign the divorce papers without explaining to me first. I had some time before work started and no morning meetings, so I took him to the cafe across the street. He proceeded to tell me the craziest story ever. He told me that when he woke up, I was gone and his ex was laughing. She was even finding humor in how I was less dramatic than her. He tried to contact me, but I had blocked him everywhere. When he went to my job, my manager was very rude to him and asked how he could cheat on me. He told me that the last thing he remembered was drinking his protein shake before going to the gym, then suddenly passing out. He woke up next to his ex, which made it clear he had been drugged. He did not waste time. He went and got medical tests to back it up. He confronted his ex, but she would not admit it. However, the cops investigated her and found footage of her buying the pills and slipping into the house. Shortly after she got sent to jail, his ex snitched on his mom and claimed they were working together, which added to his mom's charges. Despite being gone, he carried on going to court and testified against them. He told me that they had actually been found guilty of drugging him, and his mom was found guilty of attempted unaliving just a few days before. At some point, he decided to focus his efforts on getting them jailed, and then he would look for me. He knew how hurt I was by cheating, so he was not shocked that I walked away. He just needed me to cool off and solve all our problems so that we could live happily ever after. By the time he got to the end of the story, I was tearing up. I could not believe that my beloved had done all this for me. He could have just moved on with his life after I left and refused to let him explain. Instead, he slayed all the dragons and found me after. Now he wanted to know if I would take him back. I asked if he was dumb. He did not need to beg me to take him back. I am the one who needed to beg for his forgiveness. I was so wrong to leave without giving him a chance to explain. I guess I was so shattered by the idea of the love of my life betraying me, especially with his ex, final update 2 months later. One thing I can brag about is that I am going to have a very interesting story to tell my kids one day. What we have gone through over the past couple of months is something movie-worthy, a love that spans space and time. But we are definitely ready for normal life now. Now that his mom is in jail for the next 3 years and has been disowned by the entire family, we expect that life is going to be very quiet. I saw my mother-in-law only once when we were packing up our things so we could move to my new town. She claimed to want to apologize, but I heard that if I forgive her, it will be easier for her to appeal. I agreed to meet her, but not to forgive her. She claimed that she never saw how good I was for her son until he lost me. She regretted all her actions when he started to waste away and was only fueled by hate for her. She was wrong to try and set him up with that girl again. I asked if she even knew that the girl was horrible to her son. I did not go into detail, but I said it with enough intensity for her to get how grave the matter was. She showed deep remorse and begged for forgiveness, but I was not in a forgiving mood. She then begged me to ask Roy to visit, but I said he was his own man. Shortly after this, we were notified that my mother-in-law was in the hospital after an altercation with inmates, not long after she was sick and had to be hospitalized. So far, she has spent more time in hospital than in her cell. She has applied for medical parole, but has thankfully been denied because her case is not serious enough. I would not be surprised if it turned out she was making all this happen so she could get out of jail. She has proved to be cunning enough. Unfortunately, she is not getting out soon enough, and when she does, she will not know where to find us. Roy did not want to uproot me from my job since I was doing very well. So, he suggested we move to my town. No one who is on good terms with his mom knows the address, and we do not have a lot of friends. Right now, the focus is on starting a family. I am so excited because I know that my husband is very supportive of me. Speaking of kids, you will not believe the stunt his ex tried to pull. When she got jailed, she informed everyone that she was 3 months pregnant and it was Roy's child. I knew it was not my husband's child, but he was more than happy to take the DNA test. Of course, it was not his child. I think it was just an attempt to destabilize our marriage. I learned my lesson about making assumptions without proof the first time. No way would she catch me lacking. Now she is in prison, going to give birth soon, and her child is going to be taken away from her. I hope that she never gets her child back because I know she would be a horrible parent. She is completely unhinged. Look at all the things she did. No child would want to be raised by such a parent. At least we have left those two in the past. They have tried but failed miserably to separate us. And you know the best part? The fact that they both have no idea where we are now. Now it is time for us to make up for all the time we have lost with each other. After 10 years, we had vowed never to spend a day apart. But who would have predicted all this? And to think all of it started with a sunflower. At least now he knows how obsessive and not good for him his mom is. It is however sad that our kids will not have grandparents. Comments. First comment by Amelia Miller. Whoa. Your mother-in-law and Roy's ex are pieces of work. I cannot believe they cooked up such an elaborate scheme to get you to leave him. They were so wrong for that. And thank goodness Roy fought for your love. I am glad he did not believe his mom when he tried to act innocent. It is also impressive how he was able to get all the proof and justice for you single-handedly. Instead of giving up or moving on because you left, he was proactive. Now, that is a real man. I am happy that you two are enjoying your marriage, while your mother-in-law and Roy's ex are in prison. I wish they had gotten more than 3 years in prison, because they are beyond crazy. Are they not embarrassed by how they acted? Especially Roy's ex, who pretended to be pregnant with his child. Did she really forget that DNA tests are a thing? She must have thought you would fall for her stupid tricks again. Second comment by Eve Taylor. Boy, am I glad that everyone is okay? I hope that you take some lessons from this OP. Patience and thinking before acting are very important things, especially in a marriage. When things go bad, the first instinct should be to talk to your partner, not run. I am glad that your husband did not leave just because of that misunderstanding. Some men would have given up and left you to your own devices. Instead, he decided to get the proof and find you, even though you were preventing him from speaking to you. I know you have been hurt in the past, but running away from your problems does not solve them. I hope that in the future you will adopt a different conflict resolution style. It seems you have learned, so please give someone a chance to explain before cutting them off. Otherwise, good luck with your marriage. I am so happy for you. I hope you can start your own family soon. You have picked a very good